Hi everyone, hi Dr. V. My name is Monica Stevens, and today I will be discussing the complex issue and topic of gun control and its effectiveness in controlling crime. This topic has been at the forefront of public debate, especially following tragic events that highlight the urgent need for effective solutions, effective underlined. My research question that I chose was, is gun control an effective way to control crime? To explore this question, I have analyzed various sources and conducted interviews to gain a comprehensive understanding of the topic. Firstly, I think it is an effective way to control crime, but if I wasn't using my sociological mind, I would just think, yes, gun control leads to less crime. But when I kickstart that sociological mind, I start to think about that is definitely not the only thing that can contribute to that or that will stop crime on its own. So it's definitely a broader subject for me, but overall I agree with that statement. I have analyzed various sources and conducted interviews to gain a comprehensive understanding of the topic. I analyzed 6 different sources, including a documentary, peer-reviewed article, and journals, and interviewed 3 different people. And I will be discussing 3 of the sources I analyzed. The first one being the documentary. So I chose Bowling for Columbine by Michael Moore. This one was one that I had heard about prior taking this class and just knew that it was perfect for this subject. This documentary provides a critical look at gun violence in America and questions the effectiveness of current gun control measures. It contributes to my understanding by highlighting the cultural and societal factors that influence gun ownership and violence. One takeaway that this film of the film that I took was the exploration of fear as a driving force behind gun purchases, which supports the argument that simply implementing stricter laws may not address the root cause of gun violence. So again, piggyback off what I said earlier, that it's just much broader than what my focus question seems to be. The second one was a news article from AP News. The title is Maine's Deadliest Shooting Spurs Additional Gun Control Proposals. This article discussed recent legislative efforts to introduce stricter gun control measures following a tragic shooting in Maine. It provides insight into how specific incidents can catalyze policy changes and public opinion. So, in other words, how critical, massive, extensive things have to happen for change to be made. The article includes data on proposed laws and their potential impacts, which helped me understand the practical challenges and opportunities in implementing effective gun control policies. So prior to researching this question, it was just a thought in my head that yes, well, of course, implementing more laws on gun control would implement more safety, but seeing it written out in the data and explained by these writers and everything was just helped me understand it a little bit more and further supported my agreement of the argument. The third thing was a peer-reviewed academic article, and it was the impact of gun control legislation on crime rates, and the academic article examined statistical data on crime rates before and after implementation of various gun control laws. So very much like the news article that I mentioned before. It showed a lot of data of the statistical data, so real life data of the crime rates before and after the implementation of various gun control laws, and most of them did affect them in a positive way. It supported my stance by providing empirical evidence, once again, that certain regulations, such as background checks and waiting periods, can lead to reduction in gun-related crimes. Which was crazy to me because I thought that this would be something that was already in motion, that was already implied. It didn't seem like something that had to be an argument. So this was crazy for me to read and find out that it's such a debate on whether or not somebody owning a killing machine, basically like a car. We require background checks and all this stuff for a car, like we should require it for a gun too. But that was just what I was thinking. The article's data-driven approach added depth to my understanding of which policies might be most effective. And throughout the rest of the articles that I researched, I found the same data. They advocated for communities, to build better communities, which again, that's using the sociological mind. There's always a broader reason as to why that somebody is shooting. No normal person just goes rampant and shoots somebody. There has to be something deeper, and then it goes into what happened in their childhood and their trauma, and then why weren't there people there before to help them, like where's the community. But yeah, all these articles basically said the same thing. It isn't just gun related policies, which do need to be stricter and enforced a little bit more, but there's just so many more things that will help control crime that we need to speed up on showing more initiative in. Now we're going to get into my interviews. I firstly interviewed my sister-in-law, who works as a guidance counselor, to gain a personal perspective on how gun control affects school safety and community well-being. I chose her because her role provides first-hand insights into the concerns and challenges faced by students and educators regarding gun violence. During our conversation, when I was asking her what are her thoughts on her safety surrounding the gun measures, the gun-related policies now in the school system, she said that it's so random when an attack can happen, and because safety is not guaranteed. And the other person that I interviewed was my 23-year-old brother, who works as a building service person, and he basically, both of their answers, both relied around the same fact that safety in the school system is not guaranteed, and anything can happen at any time, and they are not 100% trusting in the fact that the school system knows what to do. My brother is in charge of the exits and the entries 24/7, so that is where his anxiety comes from, is if he doesn't see somebody coming, but it's too little people to guard every entry and exit all the time, so there's just limited factors to what can be done. But basically, it's just the safety is not guaranteed in school systems right now. There is no real concern because it's so normalized. If it happens, it happens. That's what she said to me, that if it happens, it happens. That's how normalized it is. It reflects a troubling acceptance of gun violence as a well-being of the students, aligns with the findings from the AP News articles, which highlights the need for policies by past incidents. Next, I interviewed my dad, who is a business owner, and he basically said that there is absolutely no attention towards small business and the gun-related policies. Like, it seems to be no connection there. They're not worried. The government's not worried about them. He told me a story about how last year a employee got somebody ran up to him with a gun in the hand and pointed it in the middle of his forehead and then took the work truck. And there was nothing he could really do. He also made the interesting point about the economic factor of how making stricter gun laws could make it hard for him to get a conceal and carry, and small businesses always deal with carrying cash around and moving it around different places. So he would become an easy target and lose income if stricter gun laws did appear. Conducting research in gun control has been both enlightening and challenging. One surprising finding was that the extent to which gun violence has become normalized in some communities, as reflected in my sister-in-law's comments. This normalization complicates efforts to implement effective preventative measures. Additionally, I was struck by the strong connection between community engagement and successful crime prevention strategies, which was a recurring theme across my sources. My perspective evolved as I realized the importance of balancing legislative action with community involvement and education. Initially, I focused primarily on the legal aspects of gun control, but my research highlighted the need for a more holistic approach that addresses cultural and societal factors. The holistic approach, I feel as though, is getting overlooked these days. We need to go back to the basis of love and kindness, spreading peace and love and kindness. To explain it in better terms, go back to the hippie years. I feel like around the world right now, we're missing so much of the just supporting one another, the mutual respect towards one another. I feel like this could really help everybody if there was an increase in that. My research indicates that while gun control can be an effective tool in reducing crime, it must be a part of a broader strategy that includes community engagement and education. The unpredictability of gun violence and its normalization in society present significant challenges, but they also underscored the urgency of finding comprehensive solutions. Thank you for your attention and participation.